What's up, everybody? I got something special for you today, I hope. We're doing a 60 tomorrow, obviously, but I wanted to try out a brand new deck concept, pretty much. I just got done beating this guy, so I wonder if he'll want to do another one. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the other episode that I'm putting up today. This is actually really good. So the secret to this deck is that we need to be hyper aggressive early on, and that coaster is just gone. It's dead to me, apparently. What this deck is doing, it's going to grab his creatures late game, bash him in the face with them, and then sack him out. But in the meantime, we need to be hyper aggressive, and that's the problem that I think some people are having with builds that try and do this, is that they're not aggressive enough to keep tempo early on. We've got the shocks and ulcerates and stuff like that to kill their threats while keeping our threats viable, obviously. And stuff like Krinko's Command and stuff like that is going to be really great. And like I said, I just beat this guy, so this is the same deck that he did earlier. And I wish I had another red mana. That'd be really cool. Because I kind of want to just shock this thing. But I also want to cast two more guys. He won't block this because that's a regeneration creature and he wants to keep the regen option open. I mean, he always just ulcerate that guy, but that was a lot of damage for very little reward here. But the 1/1 blocker is going to become a problem. I'll play a Swamp for turn, and then I'll shock this thing out. I really wish I could do the second Krinko's. But that's going to put him behind a little bit, and we have the ulcerate as well. Nothing. Yeah, that's kind of what I was hoping for, and almost what I figured. Gonna attack again. He doesn't really have anything right now that can get rid of these 1/1s. So we have the Act of Treasons, we have the Portents of Betrayal. We try and have a lot of lands in here so we can do cool stuff later on. I'm gonna skew it a little bit farther red because obviously we're having a little bit of trouble dropping red mana, which I'm surprised because it's skewed a little bit red right now as it is. It's like 10 red, 8 black, and then 4 of the dual colors. So I'm a little freaked out by what's happening. I don't know what exactly this guy's plan was for us. There we go. There's another red. Maybe I don't need to skew it. Obviously, you can't use... Because once I get 2 reds, I can do stuff like Fling. I can do a bunch of really cool things. The mountains are going to help us get there. This early damage is going to soften him up. And we'll be able to... I mean, hopefully we can draw a Fling. We've got the Ulcerate if he drops anything that I want to take care of immediately. This is almost a Pauper deck. It's really close. I think it's closer than any of my other ones right now. I'm still working on that. That's something that I'm definitely going to do. And this is somebody that we're just going to toast right here with the Ulcerate. Because I want to Act of Treason or Portent of Betrayal to kill him. If I can't get rid of the creature, if I can't fling it or something like that afterwards, then there's really no point to me grabbing it, you know what I mean? Unless it's going to be that finishing blow, which would have been 9 damage, would have taken him to 3, but then I've still got a 5/3 that I'm going to get smacked with. I'm fine with the kill spell there. I'm fine with the kill spell there, and now we get to shock him. Unfortunately, we're going to take him to 2, but... if he lays a guy, we get to just grab it with the Act of Treason and bash him in the face, which is going to allow us to win anyway. Yeah, so there you go. And obviously that would be enough damage in and of itself. Let's go ahead and shock him too, though. Shock. Players, that guy. Because we will just be able to cast this Act of Treason. If we're lucky enough to draw a Fling, and we're not. But if we would have been lucky enough to draw a Fling, we would have been even better off. We'll grab control of this guy here. We'll scry. I'll keep that on top in case something crazy happens. He's only got 1 mana though, so the only thing he could do is ulcerate. Obviously he cannot. That's why he decided to quit out on us. And we'll attack for the 6, and that was textbook. That guy did not have anything to do though. That was a textbook look at what this deck is supposed to do though. Early pressure and then late game grab your threats. What's yours is mine indeed. Let's get into a second game. Alright, you guys, this is one that I was not originally going to record and air, but it ended up being just a spectacular look at this deck and look at digging out. Now, we still have that mana trouble. I haven't gotten around to switching it and going one more red, which evidently is excruciatingly necessary. This hand right here was insane. But we end up... There's just a lot of really questionable decisions here that end up paying off. So we'll take a look at that as we're going through, and I'll try and dissect. And I actually recorded voiceover to this one, but I wanted to go through with kind of the perspective of what this match was, because a lot of the early recording was just me being like, that was not a good play. But we're going to take a look at some of these questionable plays. We're going to talk about them a little bit more, and hopefully go a little bit more in depth with what's going on here. Now, we know we're up against Orzhov Hurt and Heal when he drops that black-white land. Basically, that was my inclination, and I correctly pegged him there. First questionable call is going to be killing this 2-2. Now, I hate these 2-2s. I'm really upset that Rakdos Guildgate isn't out, obviously, because we'd be able to do more things. Get this 1-1 out as well. I cap off this 2-2 main phase, so I can do 2 more damage to him. I can't have life gain. I'm actually really worried this entire match, because life gain, this is maybe the worst matchup for this particular deck, especially the builds and the strategy that I'm going for here. So as obvious as the strategy was in our previous video, this one's much more questionable because Hurt and Heal doesn't have a whole lot of big guys, so the grabbing of your enemy is not going to be that great. A lot of stuff breaks down in this deck when you're up against Hurt and Heal. We're working towards Ogre. We've got the Fling, which is not exceptionally good, but it will do 2 damage if I fling the Arsonist, so we're thinking about that. He's on 4 mana, and then boom, he roxes me, which is terrible. It rocks me. Anyway, I draw this Guildgate, which is also bullshit because I can't Wrecking Ogre, so now I'm just way behind tempo. He's doubling the life gain that he's going to be getting. We're in a lot of trouble. I'm kind of freaking out at this point. And I wish even if I had kept the shock, I'm not killing this 1-5, so I'm kind of okay with that I killed the 2-2. Questionable decision number 2. I can cast this Wrecking Ogre, or I can kill this 1-5. Now, I hem and hawed about this a lot, because it was an excruciating decision. He's got 5 cards in hand. He could have another Rocks. I think he's allowed 2 of them in the pile. Finally, I decide that I have to get rid of this 1-5. I can't allow him to gain that much life. It's just something that's going to put me too far behind. Now, obviously, the Wrecking Ogre is amazing if we're able to use Fling with it and all that kind of stuff. I love the fact that it's bordered in red for the Blood Rush. That's really cool. Blood Rush can't be countered. Again, not important in this matchup, but something that you guys need to know. I go ahead and I do it. I pull the trigger on this. I've got no Fling. I've got nothing that I can do. This is just going to be a straight up kill spell. And he's got 4 mana open. So that was even a stupid... Like, I don't know if it was stupid. We'll talk about that at the end of the video, maybe. But it was questionable to be sure. So now I'm sitting with 3 guys out. He's dropping, boom, card draw guy. I'm dying over here. First of all, I'm very lucky with how this worked out as well, because I immediately top decked the Ulcerate, which I'm skipping for that, because I gotta get rid of this 3-3. Go ahead and do so. Yard that card, and now I get to bash him for 3 more, take him to 13. We're slowly chipping away, but obviously that's not what we want to be doing in this scenario. We need to be dealing a huge amount of damage to this guy, which is not what this deck is equipped to do. Like we said at the beginning of this video, this deck pings away at him early game to get him down to about 10, 8 to 13 is where you want them at when you do that final big push where you steal a guy or you fling or you do both. That's what this deck is supposed to do. Obviously not what I'm able to do right now. This guy has a board wipe open. So Farika's this big old Viper lady is going to stay in my hand. We're able to do the 5 damage there, and we're just sitting. We're not going to do anything crazy. I'm able to do 2 damage by Fling if I do the Goblin Arsonist. So we're just hanging out, having a good time. All he lays is this 2-1. That also, in my mind, makes me think that he probably doesn't have the board wiper. We'll get to that in a minute. Questionable decision number 3. We bash all out for 5 damage. We've been talking this entire time that I do not have the resources. I don't have the ability or the power to kill this guy with a big finishing blow. So what do I do here? He's going to Swift Justice. He's going to gain 3 life. That's a big problem for me because I only have 4 out there. He's going to be able to block another one down. He's going to gain 2 more life next turn. I agonize over this decision here. But in the end, I decide, I'm trying to time it well, but I'm not because I really did agonize over this decision. I decide to fling this thing. I need to read the card better. Select that guy. Sack out the guy that was being blocked. Boom, do the damage there. I cannot allow 5 points of life gain. Now he's down to 4. If he doesn't have the board wipe, which we postulated earlier that he doesn't, Rakdos is definitely the thing to play because I need to push through the last amounts of damage. And we're just sitting here. If he drops a bunch of dudes, we're in trouble. But if he only drops 1 dude, which is what I have him pegged on, I don't know what the last 2 cards are in his hand, but I assumed he only had the guy, and he bounces because that is all he had, and this is where we win the match. Because we got 4 points of damage sitting pretty. Another fling, which is insult to injury. Like we said, we could always do just 2 damage to his face, attack in, and that is the beauty of this thing. I don't know that that guy did anything wrong. We just had too much too quickly for him to handle and answer for every scenario. This deck did its duty to the utmost. I was super excited with that victory. I hope you guys were as well. Thank you so much for watching this video. Check out the Patreon if you want to be a part of the channel. Check out my other channel if you want to watch reviews and stuff like that. But even if you don't, thanks again for watching today, and I will see you all tomorrow.